While most people are scrolling through social media, smart households are quietly preparing for what economists are calling the perfect storm of food shortages, price spikes, and supply chain chaos. In the next 12 minutes, I'll reveal the 7 critical food categories you need to secure before September, backed by current market data and supply chain intelligence that most people will never see coming. Welcome to Financial Area, where we decode economic trends before they hit your wallet. If this information helps protect your family's food security, smash that like button and subscribe for more insider financial intelligence. Let's start with something that might surprise you. Canned fish is about to become one of the most valuable items in your pantry, and it has nothing to do with taste. New tariffs on tuna imports from major suppliers like Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, and China are set to drive prices up by 15 to 20%. But here's what the headlines aren't telling you. Vietnam's tuna exports are already slowing due to new rules blocking the processing of smaller fish, while retailers are demanding greater transparency to combat illegal fishing. Meanwhile, prices for scallops and other seafood are shooting upward due to low catch volumes and logistical headaches. Despite these challenges, retail seafood sales remain strong, with frozen and fresh options seeing double-digit growth as informed shoppers stock up ahead of the tariff impact. But here's the real opportunity. While boutique sardine brands are fetching up to $15 per tin on social media, mainstream canned fish remains one of the cheapest per-gram protein sources available. When you're building your food security buffer, skip the premium brands and focus on compact, shelf-stable tins with solid protein content and key minerals like zinc and selenium. Store these tins in a cool, dry place and rotate your stock to maintain freshness. When fresh seafood prices soar later this year, those humble tins could become more valuable than you think, making canned fish a smart hedge against uncertainty. Now let's talk about something that was once relegated to camping trips, but is now becoming mainstream: freeze-dried and dehydrated meals. The global market for these foods is booming, projected to reach over $56 billion by 2034, with annual growth rates between 6 and 8%. This isn't just about convenience. It reveals a hidden demand for household resilience that most people don't see coming. Here's why this matters right now. The U.S. power grid faces elevated risk of blackouts this summer, especially in regions like the Midwest, New England, Texas, and the Mid-Atlantic. Demand is spiking due to air conditioning, data centers, and industrial activity. While solar and wind help, their intermittent nature means they can't reliably fill gaps when you need them most. Add climate extremes to the mix: heat waves, hurricanes, droughts, and wildfires, and fresh produce becomes less reliable. In these scenarios, meals that require only hot or warm water become absolute lifelines. When the power goes out and your refrigerator stops working, you'll be grateful for every single-serve pouch you stored away. When shopping for these meals, focus on single-serve pouches to stretch supplies and avoid waste. Look for full calorie and nutrition details, not just per-serving information, and choose lower sodium options if water or hydration might be a concern. Opt for mylar or oxygen barrier packaging to maximize shelf life, and keep everything in a cool, dry spot while rotating your stock. This isn't just prepping, it's strategic planning. With power grids under strain and fresh food becoming less dependable, these meals offer the kind of quiet resilience every household should have secured before September arrives. But let's dig deeper into the protein crisis that's developing right under everyone's noses. Protein is no longer just another grocery item, it's becoming a strategic lifeline, and recent headlines highlight why certain protein sources are more critical than ever. This spring saw what insiders called a bean crisis, with prices spiking and never fully adjusting downward. Droughts in major growing regions have made stories of tight supplies and soaring legume prices commonplace. Agricultural researchers are now breeding new bean varieties specifically to endure severe water scarcity, which tells you everything you need to know about the vulnerability of traditional crops. The soybean situation is equally revealing. While the U.S. soybean outlook remains solid, export concerns are massive. Ongoing U.S.-China tensions are shifting demand toward Brazil and Argentina, with Brazil expected to ramp up shipments significantly. Research teams are frantically working to toughen up soybeans to resist heat and drought, with field trials showing promising but uncertain results. Here's the reality. Both animal and plant-based proteins face pressure from climate change, supply chain turbulence, and shifting trade flows. Droughts and heat waves reduce crop output, freshwater fish stocks are strained, and even livestock feed like soybean meal faces production uncertainties. Your strategy should be to mix protein sources, combine animal-based options like canned meats and fish, with plant-based choices like dried beans, lentils, and split peas. This gives you variety and cost flexibility when prices swing wildly. Purchase larger packs of dried legumes and store them in airtight containers with oxygen absorbers for maximum shelf life. Don't delay on monitoring sales. Production constraints can make key protein items disappear from shelves faster than you'd expect. If you have freezer space available, stock frozen fish or poultry to complement your shelf-stable options. This isn't panic buying, it's smart preparation. With climate pressure and trade shifts accelerating, locking in reliable protein sources now protects your dinner table from future uncertainty. Now let's move to something hiding in plain sight: canned soups, chili, and stews. These might seem ordinary, but they're among the smartest buffers against food instability. Rising costs for metals, longer shipping routes, tighter ingredient supplies, and stronger storms are all converging to make these items essential. New tariffs on imported steel and tinplate are driving up packaging costs, with shelf prices for canned items expected to rise by high single digits to mid-teens by fall. Shipping delays, Red Sea detours, low water levels on the Panama Canal are adding weeks to transit times and creating ripple effects in ingredient availability. California's tomato processors have already agreed on higher base prices just to keep fields planted, but volume outlooks remain below last year's levels. European processors face their own weather and cost concerns. When tomatoes are tight, everything from minestrone to chili moves up the cost ladder rapidly. An above-normal Atlantic hurricane season and intensifying tropical storms threaten logistics networks and trigger precautionary buying waves. Current inflation remains higher than 2024 levels, and any fresh food shock pushes more people toward pantry meals, creating sudden demand spikes. When building your canned soup buffer, create a mixed case: chicken nude for protein, beef or turkey chili for calories and iron, lentil and minestrone for fiber and sustained energy. Choose creamy styles for stressful days and broth-heavy cans for hydration needs. Scan labels for 10 to 15 grams of protein per serving and check potassium and sodium levels to match your household needs. If anyone in your family follows specialty diets, gluten-free, low FODMAP, low sodium, or vegetarian, those options disappear first during shortages, so secure a cushion now. Store cans in a cool closet, mark the purchase month, and rotate your stock regularly. Canned soups and stews offer the exact combination you need when uncertainty hits: balanced nutrition, long shelf life, and minimal preparation requirements. Let's talk about something that might seem indulgent, but is actually a keystone of household resilience: snacks. Almonds, for example, face serious pressure from California's water shortages and catastrophic honeybee losses that threaten pollination and yields. Rodent invasions have caused millions in damages to almond groves, compounding supply fragility. Despite forecasts showing a robust 2025 almond harvest, kernel sizes and quality vary dramatically, keeping prices unpredictable and volatile. The chocolate situation is even more dramatic. Cocoa supply chains are under heavy strain from drought, crop disease, and chronic underinvestment in West Africa. European analysts are warning of a full-blown chocolate crisis, with processors revising volume expectations downward and prices remaining at historically high levels. Chocolate makers are responding by raising prices or shrinking package sizes to manage crushing input costs. Inflation in packaging and shipping, combined with new export limitations, is pushing up costs for dried fruits and nut blends across the board. Snack manufacturers are increasing prices, reducing pack sizes, or substituting ingredients to maintain margins. Here's why this matters for your household. During storms and emergencies, snacks are often the first items to disappear from store shelves. Families rely on granola bars, jerky, and trail mix when refrigerators go dark or roads become impassable. Build variety into your snack strategy: granola bars for quick energy, trail mix for fiber and healthy fats, jerky for protein, dried fruit for immediate sugar boosts, and nut butter packets for versatility. Focus on ingredient lists that manage sugar and sodium while maximizing calorie-to-weight ratios for efficient storage. Store everything on cool, dry shelves and rotate stock to maintain freshness. Remember that short-term promotions are often followed by product delays, especially when core ingredients like almonds or cocoa face constraints. Secure your snack buffer now for sustained energy and morale when you need it most. Now let's discuss the quiet MVPs of any resilient pantry: shelf-stable fats. These are essential for cooking, provide incredible energy density, and offer the kind of versatility that becomes invaluable during uncertain times. Vegetable oils are driving global food price increases right now. Olive oil is under severe strain from persistent drought in Spain. while sunflower oil faces mixed signals due to changing export duties and harvest variability across growing regions. Palm oil, which powers countless packaged foods, is being pulled by policy changes and weather disruptions. Malaysia recently lifted export duties, while Indonesia's push toward higher biodiesel blends could divert more palm oil into fuel production. Dairy fats like butter are setting price records due to persistently low milk supply combined with strong consumer demand. When building your fat storage strategy, focus on versatility and shelf life. Refined coconut oil provides neutral flavor for high-heat cooking with exceptional longevity. Ghee offers rich taste for sautéing and baking without requiring refrigeration. Lard or beef tallow excel for robust frying and food preservation. Olive oil remains essential for dressings and low-heat finishing. Keep an extra container of everyday vegetable oil for routine meals while rotating your stock. Store all oils in cool cabinets away from light. Mark purchase months clearly and use first in, first out rotation. For households with limited space, focus on caloric density. A single liter of oil stores roughly 8,000 to 9,000 calories. Pair quality fats with foods that cook quickly to conserve fuel during power outages. Watch for price dips and volatility over the next 6 weeks, but avoid panic buying. Instead, build a deliberate buffer that matches your cooking habits and storage capacity. Finally, let's address something that might seem minor, but is actually crucial for maintaining morale and routine: coffee and tea. Supply chain headlines for these products now read like military intelligence briefings, and there's good reason for concern. Robusta coffee remains extremely tight after weather shocks across Southeast Asia, while Arabica growers in Brazil and Colombia face erratic rainfall patterns and soaring input costs. Coffee roasters are hedging purchases earlier in the season and passing through frequent retail price increases to consumers. Tea producers in India, Kenya, and Sri Lanka are battling intense heat, uneven rainfall, and rising labor and fuel costs. Stricter residue testing requirements and persistent logistics delays are adding friction to the supply chain, turning routine reorders into multi-week waits for many retailers. Aluminum input costs and canning capacity constraints are particularly tight, forcing brands to switch to cartons and lightweight packaging alternatives. Power reliability concerns are pushing more households towards shelf-stable caffeine options: instant coffee sticks, vacuum-packed coffee bricks, and compressed tea blocks that need only hot water. Coffee leaf rust outbreaks continue plaguing growing regions, while slow replanting with disease-tolerant varieties drives ongoing price volatility. Tea wages and input costs climb on negotiated schedules rather than market conditions, while currency swings amplify price volatility for imported products. When building your caffeine buffer, buy what you actually drink and use regularly. Mix instant coffee for speed and convenience, whole beans for flavor and freshness, and ground coffee for daily convenience. If you rely on single-serve pods, grab extra cartons while they're available. For tea, stock strong CTC bags for robust brewing, loose-leaf black tea for versatility, green or oolong for variety, and compressed tea bricks for efficient storage. Store everything in airtight containers away from heat and light. Split your stash between daily use supplies and longer-term storage reserves. Prepare for potential power outages by adding a stovetop kettle, camping burner, or rechargeable immersion heater to your emergency kit. A steady, sensible cushion of instant sticks, vacuum-packed bricks, loose tea, and compressed cakes preserves both your budget and your daily routine. The convergence of climate extremes, supply chain disruptions, and market volatility means food security is no longer something we can take for granted. By strategically stocking canned fish, freeze-dried meals, shelf-stable proteins, soups, snacks, fats, and caffeine, you build a pantry that offers genuine peace of mind and practical resilience. These aren't just grocery tips, they're financial insurance policies you can eat. The households implementing these strategies today will be the ones eating well and spending less, while others face empty shelves and panic buying tomorrow. Remember to rotate your stock regularly, monitor market headlines, and adjust your purchases as conditions continue evolving. With a well-chosen buffer in place, your household can weather whatever the next season brings, keeping meals predictable and morale high, even when the world outside is anything but stable. If this intelligence helped you see the bigger picture before it hits mainstream news, hit that like button and subscribe to Financial Area for more insider analysis that protects your wealth before everyone else catches on.